She asked me at 1:37 a.m. We were lying in her bed, sheets tangled around our legs, the city lights from her penthouse apartment casting shadows across the ceiling. I was still catching my breath. She was tracing lazy circles on my chest with her fingertip. "What's your biggest fantasy about me?" Her voice was playful, teasing. She expected me to say something dirty, something about her body, something that would make her laugh and roll her eyes and call me predictable. But I'd been carrying the truth for 8 months. 8 months of Wednesday nights and Saturday mornings. 8 months of her rules. No sleepovers, no feelings, no future. 8 months of pretending this was enough. It wasn't. "Waking up next to you every morning?" I said. The circles on my chest stopped. Silence. I could feel her tense beside me, could hear her breath catch. "Alex," she said quietly, "that's not funny. I'm not joking." She sat up, pulled the sheet around herself like armor. Her dark hair fell over her shoulders, messy from my hands. Her eyes, those brown eyes I'd memorized 100 times, were wide, scared. "We agreed," she said. "No sleepovers." "No, I know what we agreed." "Then why would you say that?" I sat up too, looked at her. Really looked at her. Mia Chen, 46 years old, CEO of Chen and Associates, one of the most successful consulting firms in the city, the woman who was reviewing my firm's biggest project, a $50 million residential development that could make or break my career. The woman I wasn't supposed to be sleeping with. She told me on our second night together, "This can never be public. If anyone finds out I'm involved with the lead architect on a project I'm consulting on, both our careers are over. If you can't handle that, leave now." I should have left, but I didn't, because even then, I knew. I knew that the way she laughed when she was surprised this bright, unguarded sound was going to ruin me. I knew that the way she looked at me when she thought I wasn't paying attention was going to break my heart. I knew that 8 months of pretending not to care was going to kill me. "I said it," I told her, "because you asked. And I'm tired of lying." She stared at me. "We had rules." "I know. You're breaking them." "I know." "Alex, do you want me to leave?" I asked. She didn't answer. I stood. Started pulling on my jeans, my shirt, my shoes. She watched me in silence. At the door, I turned back. "For what it's worth," I said, "I think you want it too. You're just too scared to admit it." I left. I met Mia at a project review meeting. My firm had been hired to design Riverside Heights, a luxury residential development downtown. It was the biggest project of my career. $20 million budget, 2 years of work, my name would be on it. But the investors wanted an independent consultant to review the plans before they committed. That's where Chen and Associates came in. That's where she came in. Mia walked into the conference room at 9 a.m. sharp, carrying a leather briefcase and wearing a gray suit that was clearly expensive. She was beautiful in this intimidating, untouchable way. Dark hair styled perfectly, minimal makeup, a confidence that filled the room before she even spoke. "Good morning," she said. Her voice was calm, professional. "I'm Mia Chen. I'll be reviewing your architectural plans for Riverside Heights." My boss, David, stood, shook her hand. "Miss Chen, we're honored to have you." She smiled, polite, distant. "Let's see what you've built." For 2 hours, she tore apart our plans. Not cruelly, but thoroughly. She found every structural flaw, every budgeting issue, every design inconsistency we'd missed. I should have been annoyed, but I was fascinated. The way she thought, the way she challenged us. The way she made us better by refusing to accept anything less than perfect. At the end of the meeting, she turned to me. "You're the lead architect?" "Yes. Your vision is strong. But your execution needs work." "I'll fix it." "You have 2 weeks. I'll review again." She left. David looked at me. "Don't fuck this up, Rivera. This project is everything." I didn't plan to, but 2 weeks later, everything changed. The second meeting went better. I'd spent 14 days reworking every detail she'd criticized. Sleepless nights, endless revisions. My entire team hated me by the end. But when Mia walked into that conference room, I was ready. She reviewed the new plans in silence, nodding occasionally, making notes. Finally, she looked up. "Better," she said. "Much better." I exhaled. "You listened," she continued. "Most architects have too much ego to take criticism. You didn't. That's rare." I want this project to be perfect. It will be. She stood, extended her hand. Congratulations, Mr. Rivera. You've earned my approval. I shook her hand. Her grip was firm. Her palm was soft. Call me Alex, she smiled. Small. That should have been the end of it. But after everyone left, she was still packing her briefcase. I was still organizing my notes. Can I ask you something? She said. Sure. Why architecture? I looked at her. Why do you care? I don't. I'm just curious. It's how I make sense of the world. Building things that last. Creating spaces where people live their lives. She studied me. That's a good answer. What about you? Why consulting? Control. She said it without hesitation. I like knowing I can walk into any situation, identify the problems, and fix them. No surprises. No chaos. Must be exhausting. What? Needing that much control? Something flickered in her eyes. Something vulnerable? Then it was gone. I should go, she said. Can I buy you a drink? The question surprised both of us. She looked at me. That would be inappropriate. Why? Because I'm consulting on your project. Because there's a power imbalance. Because? You want to say yes? She stared at me. One drink, I said. No business talk. Just two people who happen to like control and good architecture. She should have said no. But she said, one drink? We went to a bar 3 blocks from the office, ordered whiskey, talked about nothing important. About the city, about travel, about how exhausting it was to pretend to have everything together. I'm divorced, she said, halfway through her second drink. 15 years. He left me for someone younger. 28. Same age you are now. I'm 29. Close enough. She laughed bitterly. I spent 15 years building a life with him, and he threw it away for someone with fewer wrinkles and less baggage. That's his loss, is it? She looked at me. I'm 46, Alex. I work 60 hours a week. I have no interest in getting married again. I don't want kids. I don't want someone trying to fix me or save me or make me softer. What do you want? She studied me. Honestly, someone who can make me forget for a few hours that I spent 15 years with the wrong person. I can do that. Can you do it without complicating things? I should have said no, but I said, yeah, I can do that. We went back to her place, and that's how it started. The next morning, she laid out the rules. I was sitting at her kitchen counter, drinking coffee, wearing yesterday's clothes. She was leaning against the marble island, arms crossed, looking at me with that steady CEO expression. If we're going to do this, she said, we need ground rules. Okay. Rule 1. This stays private. No one can know. Not your team, not my firm, no one. If anyone finds out, it's over. Got it. You leave after. Or, I leave after. No exceptions. Understood. Rule 3. No feelings. This is physical. That's it. If you start wanting more, you tell me, and we end it. Okay. Rule 4. When the Riverside project is complete, this ends. No exceptions. It's already a conflict of interest. I'm not letting it turn into something that destroys both our careers. I looked at her. How long until the project is done? 18 months? Give or take. That's a long time to follow rules. Can you do it or not? I should have said no, but I said, I can do it. And for 8 months, I tried. For 8 months, we had a routine. Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., Saturday mornings at 9 a.m., always at her place, always ending before sunrise. At work, we were professionals. She'd attend quarterly reviews. I'd present updates. We'd nod at each other across conference tables like strangers. But in private, we were something else, something hungry, something desperate, something neither of us wanted to name. And there were moments. Moments when she'd fall asleep on my chest for 5 minutes, then jerk awake, panicked, whispering, you should go. Moments when I'd kiss her forehead and she'd freeze, like I'd crossed an invisible line. Moments when I'd catch her looking at me with this expression, half longing, half terror. But I followed her rules, because 18 months felt like forever. Because I told myself I could walk away when it was over. Because I was lying to myself about what this really was. I was in love with her. And every Wednesday night, every Saturday morning, I fell deeper. It was a Tuesday. We didn't have Tuesday nights. But she called me at 11 p.m. Can you come over? Her voice was wrong. Tight. Like she'd been crying. What happened? Nothing. Can you come over? I was there in 20 minutes. She opened the door in pajamas, eyes red, makeup smudged. My ex is getting remarried, she said. To her, the 28-year-old. And I just got the invitation in the mail. And I know I shouldn't care. I divorced him 5 years ago. She broke. I pulled her into my arms, let her cry against my chest. Stay, she whispered. Please. I don't want to be alone. I froze. Mia, that's against your rules. I know. If I stay, it means something. I know. We stood there in her doorway, me holding her shaking. Then her phone buzzed. Work emergency. She pulled away, answered, became CEO Mia again in seconds. When she hung up, the mask was back. Sorry, she said. Moment of weakness. You should go. I left. But that moment haunted me, because for 3 seconds, she'd wanted me to stay. For 3 seconds, she'd let her guard down. And I realized she felt it too. She was just better at hiding it. It happened at a charity gala. One of those industry events where everyone networks and drinks overpriced wine and pretends to care about whatever cause is fashionable that year. I was there with my firm. She was there with hers. We'd agreed. No acknowledgement in public. Too risky. But halfway through the night, I saw her across the room. Black dress. Hair down. Talking to some tech CEO who was clearly hitting on her. Jealousy burned in my chest. I walked over. Miss Chen, I said. Professional. Distant. She turned. Saw me. Her eyes widened for half a second before the mask fell back into place. Mr. Rivera. She extended her hand. We shook. How is Riverside progressing? On schedule. Your recommendations were invaluable. Good. She smiled. Polite. Fake. Have you met the tech CEO? Interrupted. Pulled her away. Kept talking. She glanced back at me once. Apologetic. Trapped. I left. Went to the bar. Drank too much. Tried to forget the way she'd looked in that dress. At 11 p.m., my phone buzzed. Mia. Where are you? Me. Left. Wasn't in the mood. Mia. Come to my place. Me. It's not Wednesday. Mia. I don't care. I was there in 15 minutes. Mia. She opened the door, still in that black dress, and pulled me inside. I hated that, she said. Hated what? Pretending I don't know you. Watching you walk away, acting like you're just some architect whose project I review. That's what I am. No, you're not. She cupped my face. You're so much more than that. And I hate that I can't. She stopped. Kissed me. It was desperate. Needy. Different from our usual rhythm. Stay, she whispered against my lips. Mia, I know it's against the rules, but fuck the rules. Just for tonight. I stayed. And it was the best night of my life. Until morning. I left at 6 a.m., trying to be discreet. Took the service elevator down, but when the doors opened in the lobby, Sarah Kim was standing there. Sarah. From Mia's firm, senior consultant. The woman who'd asked Mia about me at the gala. She looked at me. Then, at the elevator panel showing floor 42, the penthouse level. Mia's floor. Mr. Rivera, she said. Her voice was neutral. Professional. But her eyes weren't. Miss Kim. I nodded. Walked past her. My phone buzzed the second I got to my car. Mia. Did anyone see you leave? Me. Sarah Kim. Lobby. She knows. Mia. Fuck. Me. What do we do? Mia. Nothing. Maybe she won't say anything. But we both knew. Sarah had seen. And it was only a matter of time before someone else did too. That's when I said it. The night I told her my fantasy. The night everything broke. After I left her apartment, I drove home in silence, replaying every word. Then, Saturday morning, she texted, Coffee? We met at a neutral place. Not our usual spot, too personal. A Starbucks downtown. She was already there. 2 coffees. Black for me. Oat milk and cinnamon for her. Hey, she said when I sat down. Hey. Silence. Look. She started. About last Wednesday. You don't have to explain. I do. She wrapped her hands around her cup. You broke the rules. And I can't give you what you want. What do I want? More. You want to wake up next to me. You want mornings together. You want a future. And I can't give you that. Why not? Because I'm 46 and you're 29. Because I'm your client. Because when the project ends in 10 months, this ends. Because you're scared. She flinched. You're scared that 17 years isn't just an age gap, it's proof that I'll outgrow you? You're scared that if anyone finds out, you'll lose everything. And I'm right to be scared. Her voice rose. Do you know what would happen if this got out? HR would investigate. I'd be accused of abusing my position. You'd be accused of sleeping with me to get your project approved. Both our careers would be over. Then we're careful. We can't be careful enough. Someone saw us at that gala. Sarah, from my firm. She asked me who you were. I lied. But how long until someone else sees? How long until we slip up? So what are you saying? I'm saying maybe we should end this. Before someone gets hurt. I'm already hurt, Mia. She flinched again. But I'm still here. I continued. I'm still at this coffee shop because you texted me. Because even if I can't have what I want, I'll take what you can give me. That's not fair to you. Let me decide what's fair to me. She stared at her coffee. I don't know how to do this. Do what? Trust someone again? I trusted him for 15 years. And he destroyed me. I can't. I'm not him. I know. But what if you realize 17 years is too much? What if you meet someone your own age and realize, stop. I reached across the table, took her hand. I don't want someone my own age. I want you. The you who tears apart architectural plans. The you who drinks oat milk with cinnamon. The you who pretends not to care, but shows up at my door at 2 a.m. because you can't stand pretending anymore. Her eyes filled with tears. I'm so tired of being scared, she whispered. Then, stop. Let me in. Okay. Let's try. No more rules, no more timers. Let's just see what happens. I should have been happy, but I had a sinking feeling. Because Mia was right about one thing. Someone had seen us. And that someone was about to destroy everything. I was in a meeting when David called me into his office. Close the door, he said. His voice was cold. I sat down. What's wrong? HR got an anonymous tip. About you and Mia Chen? My blood went cold. What? Someone said you're sleeping with her. That you've been involved for months. That it's a conflict of interest. David, is it true? I didn't answer. Jesus Christ. Alex. He rubbed his face. Do you know what this means? If the investors find out, they'll pull the project. If Chen and Associates finds out, they'll drop us. You could lose your license. She could lose her firm. It's not we didn't. I don't care what it is. I care that you jeopardized a $50 million project because you couldn't keep it in your pants. It's not like that. Then what is it like? I love her. The words hung in the air. David stared at me. You're 29 years old. She's 46. She's your client. And you're telling me you love her? Yes. Then you're an idiot. He stood. HR is launching an investigation. Until it's resolved, you're off the Riverside project. Marcus will take over. You're on probation. If they find evidence, you're fired. David, get out. I left. Called Mia immediately. We need to talk. Mia met me at a park. Neutral ground. Somewhere no one from our firms would see us. She looked exhausted, pale, scared. I know. David told me. My board called an emergency meeting. They're asking if the rumors are true. If I've been compromising my professional integrity? What did you say? I said, no. I lied. She looked at me. What else could I say? That I've been sleeping with the lead architect on a project I'm supposed to be objectively reviewing? They'd fire me on the spot. So we deny it. And if they investigate? If they find evidence? If someone saw us together? Then we deal with it. Alex, you don't understand. Her voice broke. I've spent 20 years building my firm. 20 years earning respect in an industry that already doubts women. If this gets out, I'm done. Not just fired. Blacklisted. No one will hire me. My entire career, everything I've worked for, gone. Then we end it. Publicly. We say it was a mistake. We go our separate ways. She stared at me. Is that what you want? No. But I'm not going to let you lose everything because of me. And what about you? You could lose your license. Your career. I don't care. You should care. I care about you. My voice rose. An old woman walking her dog glanced at us. I lowered my voice. I care about you. More than the project. More than my career. More than any of it. Alex, I love you, Mia. I've loved you for months. And I know that terrifies you. But I'm done pretending I don't. She closed her eyes. You can't say that. Why not? Because it makes it real. Because once you say it, I have to decide. And I don't know if I can. Can what? Choose you over everything else. Over my career. Over my reputation. Over 20 years of work. I'm not asking you to choose. Yes, you are. You're asking me to risk everything. And I don't know if I'm brave enough to do that. Then don't. I stood. I'll end it. I'll tell HR it was a brief thing that ended months ago. I'll take the fall. You keep your firm. I'll figure out the rest. Alex, I love you enough to let you go. If that's what it takes. I walked away. I was at home, packing, when my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Mr. Rivera? This is Patricia Moore from Chen & Associates. My stomach dropped. Mia's boss. Yes? I'm calling to inform you that Mia Chen has resigned from our firm. What? Effective immediately. She's also withdrawn from the Riverside Heights project. I wanted to let you know personally, as you were the lead architect. Why did she resign? That's confidential. But between you and me? Patricia's voice softened. She's a fool. She's throwing away a brilliant career. And for what? Some principled stand about integrity? She hung up. I stared at my phone. Then I called Mia. It rang, and rang, and rang. Finally. Hello? What did you do? Silence. Mia. What did you do? I resigned. Before they could fire me. Before the investigation went public. Why? Because I wasn't going to let them destroy you. HR was going to recommend termination for both of us. So, I fell on my sword. I admitted there was a relationship. I took full responsibility. I said you ended it months ago when you realized it was inappropriate. They're dropping the investigation against you. Mia. You're clear, Alex. You keep your project, your license, your career, at the cost of yours. Yes, I didn't ask you to do that. I know, but I did it anyway. Her voice was calm. Too calm. Because you were right. I was scared. I chose my career over you for 8 months. I chose safety over what I really wanted. And I'm done being scared. Where are you? My apartment. Packing. Packing for what? I'm leaving. New York office of a smaller consulting firm offered me a position. I start in 3 weeks. It's a step down. Less money. Less prestige. But it's a fresh start. New York? Yeah. When were you going to tell me? Silence. You weren't, were you? Alex, you were just going to leave. Without saying goodbye. Without giving me a choice. Because I can't ask you to follow me. You have Riverside. You have your whole career here. I'm not going to be the reason you give that up. What if I want to give it up? You don't mean that. Yes, I do. Alex, I love you. And I don't care if that's complicated. I don't care if it costs me the project. I don't care about any of it if it means I lose you. She was crying. I could hear it. I'm 46, she said. You're 29. In 5 years, I'll be 51 and you'll be 34. In 10 years, I'll still love you. You don't know that. I do, because I've spent 8 months trying not to love you. And I failed. Every single day, I fell more in love with you. And that's not going to change just because you moved to New York. What are you saying? I'm saying come back. Don't leave. Let's figure this out together. I can't. I already signed the contract. Then I'll come with you. Alex, I'll come with you. To New York. I'll find a firm there. We'll start over. Together. You'd really do that? Give up Riverside? Give up everything you've worked for? Yes. Why? Because waking up next to you every morning is worth more than any project. Because I'd rather have a small career and you than a big career and nothing. Because I love you. And I'm choosing you. Silence. Then, come over. I woke up in her bed. Sunlight streamed through the windows. She was asleep beside me, curled on her side, one hand tucked under her pillow. For the first time in 8 months, I'd stayed. She woke up, slowly, blinked, focused on me, smiled. Morning, she said, voice rough with sleep. Morning. You're still here. You asked me to stay. I did. She reached out, traced her fingers along my jaw. This is weird. Good weird or bad weird? Good weird. She kissed me. I'm still leaving for New York. I know. And you're still coming with me? Yes. Even though it means giving up Riverside? Even though. You're insane. Probably. She laughed. What are we doing? I don't know. But we're doing it together. Moving to New York was brutal. I had to resign from my firm. David didn't speak to me for weeks. Marcus took over Riverside. My name came off the project. I found a smaller firm in Brooklyn. Junior architect position. Half the pay. None of the prestige. Mia's new job was similar. Smaller clients. Less influence? She went from CEO to senior consultant. We both took massive career hits. The apartment in Brooklyn was a studio. 400 square feet. 1/10 the size of her old penthouse. The shower leaked. The heater broke in January and took 2 weeks to fix. We wore 3 layers to bed and fought about whether we could afford to run the space heater. We fought about money constantly. About the $87 electric bill. About whether we could afford takeout or had to cook. About whether she should have taken the NYC job or looked for something better. We had everything, she said one night, crying over a stack of bills, and I threw it away. We had careers. I corrected. Now we have mornings. Mornings don't pay rent, Alex. She was right. But she was also wrong, because every morning, when I woke up in that tiny studio apartment with the leaking shower and broken heater and saw her sleeping beside me, I knew it was worth it. All of it. The career hit. The money fights. The 400 square foot apartment with no heat. Worth it. Because we had mornings. I'd wake up at 6:30, make coffee black for me, oat milk and cinnamon for her. She'd wake up slowly, hair a mess, eyes still half closed. Morning, she'd mumble. Morning. And we'd sit there, drinking coffee, watching the sun rise over Brooklyn. Not talking. Just being. It wasn't perfect. We still fought. About money. About the age gap. About whether we'd made the right choice. She still had bad days. Days when she'd pull back. Because every morning, I got to wake up next to her. And that was the fantasy. Not the career. Not the success. Not the $50 million projects. Just her. And mornings. And coffee. We were lying in bed on a Sunday morning when she said it. I got an offer. I looked at her. What kind of offer? Head of consulting? For a mid-size firm? Here in New York. It's not what I had before. But it's close. That's amazing. Yeah. She paused. And you? What about me? I heard your Brooklyn firm is pitching for a big project. And they want you to lead it. Where'd you hear that? I have my sources. I smiled. It's not Riverside. But it's something. So we're both rebuilding. Yeah. Was it worth it? She asked quietly. I pulled her closer. You're asking me if giving up the biggest project of my career to follow a woman 17 years older than me to a different city was worth it? Yes. Yes. Every morning, every single morning, it's worth it. She kissed me. I love you. I love you too. Even though I'm 47 now? Especially because you're 47. You're ridiculous. And you're stuck with me. Good. So here's what I want to ask you. Have you ever wanted something so badly that it scared you? Have you ever met someone and thought, this could be everything, but the cost was too high? The age gap too wide? The professional risk too great? The timing too wrong? Have you ever had to choose between the career you built and the person you love? I did. Mia did. And it cost us both. I lost Riverside. Mia lost her firm. We both took massive career hits. We both have colleagues who think we're idiots. We both gave up security and prestige and success. But we gained something better. We gained mornings. And here's the thing about love. It's supposed to cost you something. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to fit neatly into your life plan. It's not supposed to make sense on paper. Sometimes you meet someone at the wrong time. Someone who's too old or too young or too complicated or too risky. Sometimes the person you love costs you everything. Your career, your reputation, your carefully constructed life. And you have to decide, is it worth it? For me, it was. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to wake up alone in a penthouse apartment having achieved everything professionally but having no one to share it with. I want mornings. I want coffee in bed. I want messy hair and sleepy smiles. I want someone who knows how I take my coffee. I want to build a life that's smaller but fuller. I want to choose love over success. And yeah, it's scary. It's terrifying to risk everything for someone. It's terrifying to be the younger guy who gave up his dream project. It's terrifying to be the older woman who walked away from her firm. But it's more terrifying to live a life of what-ifs. What if I'd followed her to New York? What if I'd chosen her over Riverside? What if I'd been brave enough to say I love you earlier? I don't have to live with those questions. Because I chose her. Every time. Every day. Every morning. So here's my question for you. What's your biggest fantasy? Not the career success. Not the professional achievement. Not the thing that looks good on paper. The real one. The one that scares you because it asks you to risk everything. The one that makes you choose between what you've built and what you could have. The one that keeps you awake at night wondering what if? And once you know what it is, ask yourself, what's stopping you? Is it age? Is it professional risk? Is it fear? And then ask, is it worth it? Because one day, you're going to be at the end of your life, and you're going to look back, and you're going to have to live with the choices you made. Do you want to look back and see a successful career and an empty bed? Or do you want to see mornings? I chose mornings, and I'd make that choice again. Every single time. Because waking up next to the person you love, that's not a fantasy. That's the goal. And it's worth every sacrifice, every risk, every terrifying, beautiful moment. Choose love. Even when it costs you everything. Especially when it costs you everything. Because that's how you know it's real.